Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, we successfully complete some of the validation, right? So from here, right now we check that validation, and after that I want to insert this category data in our this database table. So how can do that work in this video? I will show you that things with a live example. And as I told you friend, they have the two different way you can actually insert this data. You can use that Eloquent ORM. You can also do that work with the query builder. I will show you both of this way, and also into the Eloquent ORM they have the two different type you can actually use. So I share all the things with you, which things you are like, you can take it. Okay. So like first of all, I want to insert this data. So here I have already added that our field name. So that is our field name, and that is our, I have already created this method, that is our method name as a add card method. And into the add card method, it is started from here and ended. So in particular this function area, that means this method area, we have to work, right? So first of all, it should be check that validation. When it should be done, after that validation, I want to insert this data. So if you want to insert it with using that Eloquent ORM, first of all, you have to add your model name. So I name it as a, I have already created our model name as a category. There is a model and a model name as a category, right? So now I name it as a category. So category model, and into the category model I want to insert it. So I want to insert, so here I want to insert it, okay? And after that the third bracket, and here you have to add the semicolon. And now I want to add our all that field. Okay, I have to add that field, and this field, that means which area you want to insert. So that is our category name. So here that is our database categories table. Into the categories field area you have to add it. So now I name it our database field. So into the database field here I want to pass our requested data. Okay, that means here I have already taken that request. So this request data, and that means if you go to our input field, so from here that means that is our input field, right? So that is the, from here I want to actually pass some of the request data. That means if you go to a site, so whatever the things you will put on here, and after that you add that add category, right? So this request field data, that is actually the category name. So now I also want to take it. So it should be request. So with this request, it should be display or this request data, this request field name as a category name, right friend? And also if you want to display as a user ID, that means if you want to insert that our user ID data, so here you can also insert it. So this user ID data means you have to actually create that relation. I will show you that things later. That is our user table. Into the user table they have actually that ID, so it should be matched with our this user ID data. Okay, and that means that it will be as one of the foreign key. I will discuss about that things later. So right now I only want to do which user is already logged in. So this user ID will be saved. Okay, so if you want to save it, then first of all here you have to add that our database field name. Our database field name, I name it as the user ID. I copy it. That will be as a user ID, and after that here I want to add it. So it will be as our auth means with this logging user, right? So with user is already logging, so this authenticated user, that is a default one, this authenticated user, I want to access one of the field as an ID field. Okay, as I told you friend, so that is the ID I want to take. So automatically it should be saved this ID. That means it should be go to our user, into the user, which user is already logged in, this user, this ID I want to take. Okay, so that's all you have to do. So now I take it, so that will be our authenticated user, and that is our ID field. And also after that I want to add another field better. If you go to our categories, there is another field as a created at. I also want to insert that created at data. So that is our created at, and into the created at here it should be actually default one. So here I want to use that with the carbon. Okay, carbon, with this carbon it should be change the date format, which I have already discussed about that things with you. So that is a carbon, and then one of the now method. Okay, so that is a default one. So here you have to add it, and make sure here you don't need to use that any semicolon. So perfect. So that's all you have to do friend. Okay, So that is our insert this data. So automatically now it should be inserted. So here I have used that auth, I have used that category. So here also you have to add both of these. That means here we have to do, you have to use it, right? So if you want to use it, first of all better I want to first of use our category, because I also use that our model. So if you want to use that model, so that is in our use, and then the app, and then the / our models folder. In front of the models folder I want to use that category, right? That will be our category model. That means the app, and then the models, and then that is our category. Perfect. And after that I also want to use that our auth. That means use, and then auth. I want to use that auth, that means authenticated. And also I want to use our carbon, so that is in our eliminate. Okay, illuminate. It's not giving you any references. So illuminate is in our illuminate, and then the support, or the support, and then the carbon. Okay, make that sure you add it. So there is a illuminate and the support, and then the carbon. Perfect. So that is actually the appropriate location. So I have used that carbon, I have used that auth, I have used that category. So you can see there is a category, use that auth and the carbon. Perfect. So now if you click as a save all, I click as a save all. Now let's check this out. Okay, so now let's check this out. Our this Eloquent ORM is perfectly working or not. Now go your site, now refresh it. So if you get any error, don't worry about it, we will solve it. Okay, so first of all I'll check that validation. Yeah, our validation is perfectly working. Now I make it as one of the category name as a sea fish. Click as the add category. It's now showing as a class app model. You can see there is a folder name is mistake. It should be as a models, not the model. You can see there is actually the models, not the model. So here I'm using as a model. It should be as a models. That means the models, right? Perfect. I click as a save all. Check it again. Go back. Refresh it. Check it is data is inserted it or not. No. And now first of all I will check that validation. Perfectly getting that validation. I add that sea fish. Click as the add category. Yes, you can see they have no error. That means right now it's perfectly redirected to our category add page. And now if you go here, click as a browse. Yes, you can see friend, right now I'm logging with our user ID 1. That means I'm logging with the admin, right? That means the Kazi, for the reasons that is actually showing our user ID 1. That is our category name is visible, and also it's now created ad. Perfect. And also if you go back, and you can see right now I'm already logging with the Kazi. So for the Kazi, if you go better I show you. If you go to the profile, you can see I'm logging with the Kazi. So if you go to, and also my email address as admin@gmail.com. If you go to that our user, into the user, you can see there's a Kazi admin. That means the email as a admin@gmail.com. So user ID as a 1. So for the reasons it's actually getting that perfectly. That means user ID 1 actually created this category. So now I also want to add another one as all categories. I want to add this ORM category. Click as the add category. Perfect. Browse it. Perfectly inserted that data. And also I want to add another one. Click as the add category. A man's item. Click as the add category. Refresh it. Yeah, that is a man's item. Perfect. So here we successfully insert this data. I hope you like it very much. So that is one process. Okay, that is a Eloquent ORM one process. I also want to share with you another way that you can actually use it with using that Eloquent ORM. So here you have to do better. I want to make it as a comment out. I make it as a comment out, and also there is another way I want to show. Like here I take one of the variable as a category. Okay, category, and then we have to create one of the object. We have to create one of the new object. Sorry, we have to create one of the new object, and new object for our category model. So I name it our category model. Okay friend, and after that here you have to with this category. So with this category you have to add your all that requested field name. So here with this category I want to access our database field name, as a category name. I name it as a category name, so it should be matched with our this same as a requested, that means the requested category name. Okay, so that's the things you have to do. And also after that I want to add another one, so it should be just like that same. Better I copy it. So with this category I want to use that this field as a user ID, and this user ID will be just like that same. It should be just like that same as the authenticated user ID. Okay, it should be saved this part. And also after that I want to add our here I want to add as a save. That means I want to save this data. So I want to add this category. So with this category I want to save this data. Okay, so here you have to add as a save. Perfect. So that is actually our another format. Okay friends, so with this it's also should be insert this data. It should be insert this our category name, it should be insert our user ID name, and after that it should be save this data. So now let's check this out, it's perfectly working or not. And that is our model as a category model. I have also already loaded this model. Okay, so if you use that Eloquent ORM, then you have to actually work with this model. So now if you click as a save all, now I want to insert it again, go back, now refresh it, and now I want to insert another one as a fish. Click as a add category. Yeah, you can see it's perfectly inserted. Go to the category. Yes, you can see it's now perfectly inserted as data as a user ID one as a fish. But here one thing you can see friend, here when you actually use this way, that means that with this format as an insert format, here you have to insert this created at here, right? So here I have manually add this field, but when you use like that way, here you don't need to use that created field. Automatically it should be inserted that created data, that means the created add date and the updated add date. Okay, so that is very much interactive, so I will prefer you to use this format. So that is very much a professional format you can actually use. Okay, but I share both of these, which things you like you can actually choose it. So right now when you insert it, it's redirected to this area, that means the category add, right? So now I want to add this type of one of the condition when it should be insert this data after that add category. So it should be redirected to the same back page and it should be displayed on the message. So if you want to do that work right now, I want to make it as a comment out, and also I want to open it. Okay, I want to open it. I want to use this one because I added this first time. So now I want to do here after this, that means when this data will be inserted. Okay, after this here I want to return, and the return, and then the redirect. There is another one as a return redirect. So with this return redirect, it should be redirected to the back page. That means when it should be successfully inserted, it should be redirected to the back page. Okay, and when it should be back, then I want to show with some of the message. So I added that with, and with some of the ID I want to pass as a success. Okay, so I want to add as a success, and success which type of message you want to visible. So here I want to display some of the message as a category inserted successfully. So this type of one of the message it should be displayed. So that is our success, and that is ID. It should be displayed as a category inserted successfully. Perfect. So now here if you want to display it, I want to display it with using some of the bootstrap. Like if you go to that bootstrap official side, and if you go to that component, into the component they have the alert. You can see that is actually the alert. So now I want to use this type of one of the alert. You can use it. So all that ready-made code is on here. Better I want to use this one. Okay, this one actually great, and also they have the close button. So I want to copy this code. That is a copy code, and now I want to visible it here. Okay, when it should be successfully done, it should be display some of the message in particular that area. So it should be redirected to the back page and with some of the success message. So now go to our index page. That means that will be our back page, right? So here that is our terms and that is our first div. So after this row, okay, after this row, that is our call 8. So better into the call 8, and there is our another one as a call card. So before this head, okay, before this head here I want to paste it. So that will be our this alert will be visible. Okay, so that will be our alert. So here I don't want to display this one, I remove it. So here I want to display our this message, which message actually I pass it. So here we have to add this condition. So first of all I want to add this condition if into the session, okay, into the session, if into the session area there have any success ID. So I have already added one of the success ID as a success, so that will be as a success. So if there have any success message, then it should be display this message. And also we have to AND it. We have to AND our this if condition, that means the AND if. Okay, and now here I want to display our this message. So with this success, that means the session, into the session area I want to display our success message. So that will be our success message. Perfect. I hope friend everything is very much clear to you. Because of all, into the success area I have already declared one of the message as a category inserted successfully, right? So now it should be display our this message. So now let's check this out. If you now click as a save all and now refresh it, now I want to add as a man's fashion, click as a add category. Yes, you can see it's now showing as a category inserted successfully. And also there are the cross button. If you click as a cross, then it will be removed. Okay, so is our alert is perfectly working. And better I want to do, that is our alert, one of the class as a alert warning, I want to make it as a success. So that is our another class as a success. You can also use that danger for the deleting all that file. You can use that info warning. Okay, so now that is our success message. So for the reasons here I use that success, click as a save all. And now if you refresh it again, now I want to use that hello, click as a add category. Yes, you can see it's now perfect. It's now showing as a category inserted successful. This type of one of the message is visible, and there is a cross button. If you click as a cross, it should be removed. So friend, I hope it's very much clear to you how can insert data with using that Eloquent ORM. And into the Eloquent ORM, I have already discussed both of this. You can also use this one, rather than you can also use this one. Everything will be just like that same. So next video I want to insert the same data with using that query builder. Okay, then this concept I also want to share with you, then everything will be very clear to you. So how can insert this data with using that query builder? In our next video I will show you that things with a live example. So thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.